Hi everyone, this is Anna. Thank you for clicking on to my YouTube channel, Anna's Take with a Twist. In this video, we're going to talk about the absolutely fabulous, always incredible TV series, Interview with the Vampire. It is based on the Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice, who, along with her son Christopher Rice, is an executive producer. However, the TV series is only possible because of Rolin Jones. Not only is he the creator, showrunner, and one of the executive producers of the reimagined TV series, he also has a wealth of experience in television and in theater. He is a writer for the TV series Weeds and also for the TV series United States of Tara. On the TV series Friday Night Lights, he is a writer and also supervising producer. On Boardwalk Empire, he was a writer and a producer, and he is a co-creator, executive producer / showrunner of the reimagined TV series Perry Mason. The other co-creator is Ron Fitzgerald. Now, Rolin Jones is also a playwright of two full-length comedies. One is titled The Jammer, and the other is The Intelligent Design of Jenny Chow, which made him a Pulitzer Prize finalist. So here are the other plays by Rolin Jones. So yes, he is an incredible writer. And as I've said many times before, everything begins with the writing. So yes, I love the writing on the TV series Interview with the Vampire. And of course, I love the TV series for so many reasons. And really, a TV series doesn't get to be absolutely fabulous for just one. So in 2024, the series was nominated for 3 Dorian Awards. One is Best TV Drama. The other is Best LGBTQ TV Show, and Best New Genre, becoming the inaugural winner in that category. It was also won the Golden Tomato Award for Best Horror in 2022, the Gold Derby Award for Best Drama Episode in 2025, and that episode is Don't Be Afraid, Just Start the Tape. And it won the Online Film and Television Association Award for Best Makeup for Period and or Character. The TV series has also been nominated for 47 different awards. So I'm telling you right now, the TV series is absolutely amazing. So people of all ages everywhere love macabre entertainment. You know, it is actually a great escape from life. Interestingly, people tend to consume a lot of horror when times are tough, like when they're tightening their belts, when they are feeling uncertain, and when they're stressed out. So kind of like right now, I'm just going to say it. Tough times don't last, but tough people do, and I'm sure this show will too. Because horror really is a safe fear, because it gives people the illusion of control. For little to no money, which brings me to my next point, AMC Networks produces and airs the TV series. So AMC stands for America's Movie Classics. And AMC treats each episode of Interview with the Vampire like a blockbuster movie. I mean, it's just like amazing. You have to watch the series to know what I mean. And I love how when I'm watching it, there's no cut to black. So it really does feel like a movie. So if we combine all of the expertise of Rolin Jones from all of his experience in the TV from the genres I mentioned earlier, and then, of course, all of his experience and work in theater with Mark Johnson, who is highly respected executive producer of AMC's Breaking Bad and AMC's Better Call Saul. And Mark Johnson is also the executive producer who is overseeing Anne Rice's Immortal Universe with the international best-selling Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. With the financial backing and the network expertise of AMC, we're bound to have a hit. So no mystery to me as to why the TV series has won so many awards and was nominated for more. So just so everyone knows, the TV series Interview with the Vampire can be watched on the subscription channel AMC. You can also get it on AMC Plus through streaming. So AMC Plus for Amazon. You can also get it on Crave, which is Canadian. I'm sure there's probably some other places also. You can also get it on DVD for seasons 1 and 2, so DVD and also for Blu-ray. However, here's the thing. However, if you want to watch Interview with the Vampire for season 3, that is only available on AMC on their cable subscription channel. So just so you know, I'm sure it'll be available on Blu-ray and DVD later on. And if you want, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for anybody who wants to purchase the DVD or the Blu-ray for Interview with the Vampire seasons 1 and 2. So I'm just going to say that I have written and rewritten the script for this YouTube video 8.5 times, since mid-Wednesday for months. I'm not going to get it right. There's a lot of reasons why, I have a life, a lot of different things as to why this video is so late. I do apologize for that. I think the best way really to do this video is to start from the beginning. So it was very, very late of June 2025 when I was walking around Toronto and I saw the filming pylons and I had to ask, what are you filming? So the location person said they were filming the TV series Interview with the Vampire. And I said, is that a code name for something? They said, no, it's the TV series. That's the real name. And I thought, okay, I was a little bit surprised and a little bit frustrated because background holding, which is where they keep all of us background people, that's where we sign in, we get wrapped, we have lunch, and sometimes we sit there for camera setups. It was actually pretty close. I was walking. So anyway, I believe everything happens for a reason, so I let it go. Shortly after that, I was walking around and I saw the filming pylon. So once again, I asked, what are you filming? And once again told Interview with the Vampire. And now at this point, I learned that they were there because of the concert scenes. So I can tell you that there are 2 concert scenes that I know of. And one was filmed at the Opera House here in Toronto. And the other was filmed over at the Danforth Music Hall, which is also here in Toronto. So I'm going to leave a link for both of those in the description box below for anybody who wants to do some set jetting, because they are here in Toronto and a lot of tourists, right? So a few weeks later, I am actually booked for the TV series. I'm thinking, it's going to be in Toronto, which it was. It was in downtown Toronto. So I was booked to work as an extra background performer, that's what they call us, for downtown exterior night shoot, which I was very, very happy about. So before I go to a set that I have no idea about it, I do a little bit of digging because I like to have a lay of the land, what is really going on here. So I did do a little bit of research, but it was mid to late July of 2025, and there was no information that I could find anyway of season 3. So as far as I knew, I was working on season 3. It was called Interview with the Vampire, and Toronto was doubling for Dubai. So clearly, I don't know, that's probably wrong. I did work on the Vampire Lestat. I can say obviously a few things I'm not going to get in trouble for. It was exterior, it was present day, it was a warm to hot summer night in the entertainment district in Toronto, and background holding and the food were excellent. Both times that I went to work, I was also paid on time, the right amount, and all of my background paperwork was in order, so thank you very much, AMC. The first time I saw Sam Reid on set was the first time I saw Sam Reid, and I thought, who is that actor? His powerful presence on set is really what prompted me to watch the TV series. But here's the thing. I didn't see Sam Reid, who plays Lestat de Lioncourt, do a whole lot of anything while he was on set. By definition, it was a short scene, so no one did a whole lot of anything. I don't remember Sam Reid having any lines. He closes the car door, he walks, he stops, he looks around, and then he walks off camera. I don't know, you're probably thinking, seriously, Anna, how is that someone having a powerful presence? But we've all seen actors do something like that or exactly like that, and they haven't had a powerful presence. But I can tell you right now that Sam Reid doesn't play a rock star, he is a rock star. And everybody on set could feel it. And his tour bus was actually parked behind us. Now, anyone who's seen any of the marketing for the Vampire Lestat knows that Sam Reid does look like a rock star. He sings like a rock star, and in the series, he acts like a rock star. So very opposite of what he seems like in real life, which is very, very humble and very, very kind and down to earth. So I was very, very impressed by his whole presence. I don't normally fangirl or get excited about anything like that. So I'm going to leave some information in the description box below, like the website for this location, because it is called Bashi. That's the club on the ground floor. And then there's part of the Marriott luxury collection. So there's hotels and then condos also in this building. So because I had to know more about Sam Reid and the TV series, I actually went at this point and I got season 1 and season 2 DVD from the libraries. So just to clarify, I knew that Anne Rice wrote the genre-defining classic Interview with the Vampire. Now, it was actually published on April 12th of 1976, so just over 50 years ago. So I also knew that the book was made into a movie starring Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. Look, I never got into vampires, so I never saw the movie, and I had no idea that Anne Rice wrote 13 books in what is known as the Vampire Chronicles. Now, because there are 13 books in the Vampire Chronicles, there very well could be a season or more for each book, just like how the book Interview with the Vampire had 2 seasons. This is actually really kind of important because audiences don't generally want to invest their time, energy, emotions, and their feelings into a TV series if there's only going to be 1 or 2 seasons, which is probably what Rolin Jones had in mind when he created the reimagined TV series Interview with the Vampire. So I just want to say on a side note that Anne Rice did actually pass away on December 11th of 2021, and that was due to complications of a stroke. And she passed away at the age of 80 years old. And I like to say, rest in peace, Anne Rice, and thank you very much for your tremendous contribution. I may not have read the Vampire Chronicles, however, I have read other work by you. So thank you once again for that. So the first season, titled Part 1, is 7 episodes long. It is actually the first half of the book, Interview with the Vampire. So season 1 was actually filmed in New Orleans and the greater New Orleans area. And that is where the book takes place and where Anne Rice and her husband and Christopher Rice, her son, lived. So season 2 is actually the second half of the book. It is titled Part 2. And that actually has 8 episodes. So season 2 was filmed in Prague, the Czech Republic, which was made to look like Paris. And they actually did film in Paris, France. For real. So according to the season 2 commentary, and yes, I listened to all the commentary for everything, the producer by the name of Adam Byron said that originally there was only going to be 1 season for the book Interview with the Vampire. However, they decided on 2. So episode 1 in season 2 was really going to be the 5th episode of season 1. So he said that they, meaning production, was very, very happy that they could actually create 2 seasons from the book and have it at 15 episodes total. Anyway, Mark Johnson, who is the executive producer overseeing Anne Rice's Immortal Universe, said that they chose Prague in the Czech Republic because of the enormous vacant factory that they were going to transform into the Theatre de Vampire. So when I heard that production was looking for a very specific building to transform into the Theatre de Vampire, I thought, like, money is no object. And you know what? I think I'm right. So I'm just going to say, as I did earlier, once again, AMC treats each episode of Interview with the Vampire like a blockbuster movie. So one of the many things that I love about the series is that it has multiple love stories. And you know what? Some with more same-sex romance and sexual connotation than others. So to be clear, I'm a heterosexual woman. However, I can still appreciate varying forms of love, and I love a great love story. And that's exactly what this is. And of course, like, the writing is like just phenomenal, right? So the series has deception and flat-out betrayal. It has real and creative family. It is survival and selfishness and unselfishness. It is gothic horror and fantasy with a little bit of humor sprinkled throughout. And season 1 has an interesting amount of financial information. So I'm just going to say that, in my opinion, Interview with the Vampire has something for everybody. Now, I just want to say that it does have a TV rating of MA, and MA meaning that it is for mature audiences only, and mature audiences being people who are the age of 17 years of age and over. The first episode, titled In the Throes of Increasing Wonder, is just over an hour long and written entirely by Rolin Jones, who is once again the creator, showrunner, and one of the executive producers for the reimagined TV series. So in the first episode, Louis de Pointe, played by Jacob Anderson, guides us with his narrative arc as we watch Storyville, New Orleans, 1910 unfold. So later in that episode, Louis tells Danny Malloy, the journalist slash author, played by Eric Bogosian, to let the tale seduce you just as I was seduced. Okay, so I love that line because I was already seduced. I mean, everything is just so incredibly beautiful. Who wouldn't be? I could not stop watching the series. I loved it that much. I just love like the elements of the script as far as like, you know, the dialogue, the stage direction, and the camera work. It's just absolutely amazing. Visually, you know, phenomenal, like blockbuster movie material. When you think of it in terms of like how much time and energy and the details and like each set for like the set design, the set decorating, then of course we have like the costumes, the hair, the makeup, the special effects, and of course all the visual effects. Once again, blockbuster material. And now we have also like the sound design of the music that was composed specifically for the TV series. And that was done by Daniel Hart for seasons 1, 2, and also for season 3. Now I'm just going to say that the music was created, so orchestrated, just for the TV series. And of course we have like all the other elements of the sound design, which is the ambient sound and of course the Foley. Now the stunt design is amazing, and all of this is made even better because of all like the amazing acting. Each actor has so much depth and range, and really they would have to, because I mean, like, you know, the TV series does cross over time periods, and each actor expresses every known emotion and action known to mankind, even if it's unkind to man, which kind of makes sense because the TV series is about how vampires live their unlife over years, decades, and sometimes centuries. Sam Reid, who plays Lestat de Lioncourt, Jacob Anderson, who plays Louis de Pointe, Bailey Bass, who plays Claudia for season 1, Delainey Hayles, who plays Claudia for season 2, have mastered accents and languages. You know, and some of their dialogue is from like 100 plus years ago, right? Which is probably easier than their stunts. So yes, they did a lot of their own stunt work, which granted is becoming more and more commonplace now because a lot of actors are doing their own stunts. However, just like to say that very few of those actors are wearing contact lenses, dental prosthetics, also known as Spanx, acrylic nails, period clothing, which by the way can be really heavy at times because it's like layers upon layers of like varying textures and varying lengths, which is really tricky. And they're also working sometimes like with blood, right? Sometimes lots, like vats and vats of fake blood while they're doing their stunts. So each stunt has to be very carefully designed, not just for the camera, but also for the actor's safety, right? So just want everyone to keep in mind that, you know, as they're doing the stunts, the actors have to remember their lines, and they also have to remember like their actions, which also include their facial expressions. So only a handful of actors can actually do that and do it well, right? And at the same time, a smaller handful of actors actually want to do that because it is a lot of work. And if you've seen the show, then you know, because there are vats and vats of blood, fake blood, yes, but still, I mean, not every actor wants to get, let's just say, like that dirty on set, right? And that's what separates all the actors on Interview with the Vampire from all the other TV shows. And I'm going to say that this show, the acting on the show, will always be of its highest caliber because it is really like that fantastic. The second time I was on set for the Vampire Lestat, it was in period clothing, and everything was very comfortable. So my clothing was comfortable, my shoes were comfortable. Yes, it was layers and layers, but whatever. It was exterior, another night shoot, and it was actually, this was in late October of 2025. So in the past, I have been on sets where, you know, they've applied varying levels of blood to varying parts of my body. And, you know, wearing blood takes a little bit of getting used to because it's kind of weird. It's different, right? And it needs to be touched up. However, I've never had as much blood on my body, applied to my body, as some of the people for Interview with the Vampire, nor have I been on a set with that much blood. Once again, that takes getting used to. And of course, it's like fake blood, right? But still. So normally people put a Band-Aid on, but I need to rip the Band-Aid off. And the reason is because second time I was on set, I was standing beside this woman. It's called Place. We were put together, so we were placed together, and we're standing there, and a man walked past us, and I told her, I said, that's the creator of the TV series. She says, how do you know? I go, I know because I know what he looks like. And she's like, are you sure? I said, yes, of course I'm sure. Like, I know what the man looks like. His name is Rolin, Rolin. And at that point, I thought it was James. I don't know why. I really do like the name James, but anyway. But it's actually Mr. Rolin Jones. So he did something, I'm not going to say what it was, and then he walked towards us because he was walking back to where he came from. And I said, are you the creator of this TV series? And he said, yes, I am. And I said, I said, I really like your writing for what you wrote for Weeds. And then he goes, oh, that was like so long ago. And he was like so humble, and he like, kind of like put his head down a little bit. And he said, what's your name? So I told him, I gave him my given name and my surname. And then he asked the person beside me, and she gave her given name. And, he was just like so nice and so incredibly humble. And because here's the thing, like, people never recognize writers, like they never do. I don't know why that is. People always say, yes, like Humphrey Bogart said, well, actually, he didn't say that. The writer said that. Like, the writer wrote that, and he said that, yes, but it's only because the writer wrote it that anything is actually possible. That's why I always say everything begins with the writing. So I was fangirling because I just loved everything about the series, and I'm really into writing. So flash forward to later on that night, and this woman and I were staying together again. She asked me a question, I answered her, and this is where I could not stop talking. I was like talking nonstop about like everything. I could have talked about, the TV series, Interview with the Vampire. I could have written the whole script right then, and there, because I was talking so much. But no, I decided to have a therapy session. So I was talking, and it was like pretty, anyway, therapy, here we go. And so I was told to stop talking. We were told to stop talking. I did not stop talking. I knew I was supposed to stop talking, but I just did not stop talking. I don't know why, but it was kind of like, it's kind of like telling a perimenopausal woman to stop eating chocolate and potato chips, and please do not wash that down with alcohol. And she knows she's not supposed to be eating potato chips and chocolate and washing it down with alcohol, but some reason she does, she can't stop herself. And that's kind of like what that was that night. Is I just could not stop talking, even though there were times my mind was screaming, stop talking. I just couldn't. I don't know what's going on outside of that perimenopausal moment, which, by the way, I'd like to just add that I am right now I'm postmenopausal, physically and hopefully mentally too, because I'm really hoping I do not behave like that ever again on set. So thank you, Mr. Rolin Jones, for not kicking me off the set, because you clearly had the power to do that. And I'd like to thank everyone at AMC for their patience with me. And I'd like to apologize very, very deeply to Mr. Rolin Jones. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I know when we passed later on that night, and I said, I really do love your writing. I really do love your writing. I'm not just saying that. I've been on a lot of different sets, and I don't really fangirl, so I was definitely fangirling over you. I fangirled over Colin Farrell when I was photocast for Total Recall, and I fangirl over Charlie Hunnam, and clearly fangirl over Sam Reid, and I'll get into that another time. Anyway, so yes, I'd like to thank everyone at AMC for background holding being amazing, the food being amazing, and also for getting paid on time, the correct amount, all my paperwork in order. For anyone who wants to watch the TV series, once again, it's AMC, the subscription channel on cable, AMC Plus if you want to stream. Of course, now it's also available on DVD and Blu-ray. I'll leave a link for those in the description box below. You can also watch it on AMC Plus subscription for Amazon, and then also for Crave. I'm just going to say I'm filming this at mid-June of 2026, so anything can change between now and then. I'll leave a description, and I'll leave a link in the box below for anyone who wants to purchase the Vampire Chronicles. Thank you again for watching Anna's Take with a Twist to the very end. I really appreciate that. If you liked today's video, please like the video. If you want to comment on anything, please comment. And of course, you can always subscribe. Thanks again for watching Anna's Take with a Twist, and that's a wrap.